Alright, so I gotta record these as soon as I come up with them because, it's as sharp as it is right when I come up with it, and anything after that just kind of becomes foggy and altered. So this is the original notion that I had, is that, there's like various points throughout my life where my grandpa, who is now dead, rest in peace. But I also have a friend who's no longer in my life. Almost a rest in peace. As far as I'm concerned, it's a rest in peace. Because no one will even help me get a hold of this guy, and I was roommates with him for a period of time. My best friend's older brother. And both of these people, ideally would be like people that I valued and were like close to me, right? Well, both of them would complain about silly, seemingly trivial, silly events or things that would not normally be discussed, because they don't bother anybody, typically, right? And for whatever reason, they're being discussed, right? And you're like, well, what the heck? How did we even... All I remember is being like, how... I was kind of like upset when it was my grandpa, because that was like the first time it came from somebody that I was not ready for it to come from. So it kind of like crushed me a little bit. I was like, dang, like because it made me feel like I was more advanced than my grandpa. Maybe he had like some better skills, like with a few things than I, but intellectually more advanced is like what it made me feel like. And it's like even myself was like upset the fact that I was able to feel that way. Like there's no fucking way, because I'm like upset and like trying to like hold the value of my grandpa's experiences and be like, look, no, he is smart, he holds value, there's much I can learn from him, It's like, that's why I was upset. It's like, this is fucked up, There's like a chance that I'm like a little bit more intellectually ahead, like just based on like information and stuff. And so it started there, and then by the time it happened with my roommate, who was my best friend's older brother, by the time it happened then, I'd already been hit once like that. And so like, it didn't really, it was like, well, whatever, it had the same effect, like, holy shit, like why is someone seemingly straight, someone who should have ideally had like no problems, even though my best friend was like, nah man, the dude had like anger problems, and he'd have issues like getting through like daily trivial tasks and stuff, like driving, for instance, but he started having those issues, and then while we were living together, he pretty much he lost his job and just about fell all the way out, and I was like, dang, so that was 2 times where I felt like I should have been able to help, and I had no idea, how to help, or that I should have helped, or, no idea what to even say to what they were even complaining about. But now I know that, from how I get taunted and how it's destroyed my life, and like there's just this fucking shit that's just like in your face, kind of leading you into your next decision, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is it? And it's like, because you'll be complaining about something to somebody, and they'll be like, you're talking about nothing, right? And it's like, well, it's almost like they've wiped you of all your interest. Like you're now in this state of just pure mind control, and you're going to do whatever they want you to do based on what they do in front of you. I don't know how they lock you in this state, but they do, because it's like all of your previous goals have now been forgotten, and now you're only going to do the goals that are available, that they leave out for you to achieve. You're going to like only achieve what they let you achieve. And so you'll be talking about, you're only going to be left with a story about what was in front of you, taunting you, letting you know that you've been wiped and brainwashed and just like completely, like your interests have been removed. New artificial intelligent interests, or just a completely different packet of interests, have been placed within you, and now you're just like following a fucking thing of cheese on a fishing hook, like being held in front of you wherever you go, essentially. So what I'm trying to say is that it's really hard to figure out, because your grandpa or your best friend's older brother is going to end up telling you stories about shit, and you're going to be like, they're going to be telling you stories about a carrot or cheese hanging from the end of about the bait that they were chasing, to get to whatever they're doing. And you're going to be like, what the fuck is that all about? It's like something that essentially only means something to the person telling the story. They're like, yeah, there's this thing that I needed, and I was like on this wild goose chase essentially for it. And you're like, what I'm telling you, it's the situation where it's a fishing line, the treat hung in front of them, and they're just waving you around, making you do certain things, right? So yeah, that's like the best explanation. Like the weird stories that you hear that make your loved ones and people you care about sound crazy, all they're gonna be able to tell you about is the bait that was waved in front of them. They're not gonna be able to tell you about what was robbed from them until after they just are left with no success and nothing that they wanted.